Nizzy Sports Chat. I am your host, Nizzy. And in this video, you guys are going to be recapping last night's matchup between the Oilers and the LA Kings, where the Oilers were able to hang on in a shootout victory, you guys, by a final score of 4-3. Big time win, you guys, pulling into with one game behind the Kings for second place in the division now, obviously going into the shootout there. We would have ended up tying them if we could have won this one in regulation, but they got that extra point to stay one game ahead of us. Nonetheless, it moves us to one game back. We're right there in the thick of things. I believe we're 3 games above the Vegas Knights right now for that third spot in the division. I think they're sitting at 78 points on their season. We're sitting at 81 points after last night's shootout victory, you guys. Big time win for the Oilers here, improving their record to 38 wins, 25 losses, and 5 overtime losses on the season. Like I said, they're sitting at 81 points. The LA Kings dropped back to 36 wins, 23 losses, and 10 OT losses. They're sitting at 82 points on their season. Calgary's still comfortable in first place in the division at 88 points. So still got a little ways if we wanted to be able to catch up to them. I think they got a couple games in hand. I think Calgary's only played 66 games on the season. I think Edmonton's sitting at 68 games played now. But nonetheless, you guys, good hard-fought battle last night. Great win for the Oilers. Obviously, it came down to the wire. Had to go all the way to the shootout there. What an exciting overtime period as well. A little bit of back and forth action in the overtime. The third period was super exciting as well. Felt like a big-time playoff atmosphere this game. Both teams really wanted to win in this one, you guys. Glad to see the Oilers were able to come out on top. We'll go through some of the scoring in this one, you guys, in the first period there. Obviously, the Oilers get out to their classic shitty start and allow them to get an early goal. They got a quick tip in there in the first 3 minutes of the game. To get up to a 1-0 lead on the Oilers. No surprise there. That's quite normal for this fucking team to be allowing those early goals. Thank God we bounced back nicely in this one, you guys. Cody Ceci was able to pop home a goal later on in the first period there. An absolute snipe show, just fucking sniped her top ched right off the bar down. Beautiful shot from Ceci. Able to tie it up at 1-1. And then obviously the nice little wraparound pass by Hyman to Draisaitl there at the end of the first period to pot that one home to take the 2-1 lead going into the break. So it was a nice first period for the boys. Came out in that second period with some juice as well. Obviously in the first 5-minute frame there, McDavid goes in and makes it 3-1. It's looking real nice for the Oilers at that point. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, this is a for sure dub. We just got to hang on here, probably pop in an empty netter sometime in the third period and just kind of play solid defense and, sit back and not make any of those big-time mistakes. That's what I was thinking at the time anyways, you guys. And then sure enough, within 2 minutes of the fucking goal from McDavid, it's tied 3-3. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Classic Oilers, you guys. Blowing leads, giving up leads right after they get them. It never fails, it seems, with this team. Thank God we were able to hang on for the victory last night, you guys. But that was just like, I could not believe that. McDavid put that one home, is 3-1. Within a minute and a half of him scoring to make it 3-1, it was fucking 3-3. I'm just shaking my head like, oh my God, you guys, what have we done now? But they credit to the Oilers, man. They kind of grinded back into place there and, stuck tight all the way till the end after that. They didn't really play a shitty game after those 2 bad goals they allowed back-to-back there. Obviously, neither team scored in the third period. The Oilers did score in the third, but they had the goal called back for goaltending interference. They called Puljujärvi for kind of pushing one of their guys into Jonathan Quick there in net. I thought it was kind of a ticky-tack bullshit goalie interference call, in my opinion. I didn't really think he interfered that much. But that's just my opinion anyways. Regardless, the Oilers were able to get it done in the shootout period, take home the victory. Big-time night from Koskinen. Obviously allowed those 3 goals, but stood on his head in the shootout as well as the overtime period. Had 38 of 41 saves for a .927 save percentage. Made some big-time saves in some clutch-time situations throughout that game for us. He's been real solid for us all season, you guys, especially with Mike Smith not really being, the caliber of goaltender we were hoping to see, kind of like how he was last year. It's kind of been a tale of 2 tapes this year. Koskinen has really stepped up to be that main guy for us. I thought he's done a real good job this year. I know our goaltending still could use a little bit of help here. But nonetheless, Koskinen's definitely probably had his best season as an Oiler, I would say right now. I'd say he's having his best season as an Oiler. He stood on his head in a lot of games for us. He's got a really nice record right now. So he's doing all the little things right. I'm hoping they run with him for the main guy come the playoffs here, you guys, because like I said, Mike Smith just hasn't looked the same this year. He's been dealing with those injuries. Obviously, he's getting to be 40 years of age here as well, so it's not like he's a young, spry chicken anymore either. But nonetheless, great game from Koskinen, you guys. Jonathan Quick, on the other hand, pretty good game from him as well. Saved 30 out of 33 shots for a .909 save percentage. Stood on his head there and saved him a few times in that game, especially early on. There's a couple big time saves he had in that first period to hold on to that 1-goal lead early on there in that game. Yeah, you guys, but other than that, man, it was a great game to watch. Super exciting overtime period. I mean, what back and forth and action were going on. The refs were really allowing these guys to play in that OT period as well. I thought there was a couple penalties, in my opinion, on both teams, just hooking or holding penalties in that frame, but they didn't end up calling nothing. I was happy they didn't call nothing on the Oilers, especially because the Oilers ended up hooking a couple times or holding a couple times after they had already gotten held. I'm like, you better not fucking call a penalty on the Oilers after you just botched the call the other way. So I'm glad they kind of let them duke it out and fight it out there a little bit in that overtime period, made it a little more exciting, gave it that kind of playoff atmosphere to it a little bit. Same thing in the third period as well, you guys. It was a slugfest in that third period, a little back and forth action. Both teams were hard hitting in this game. As overall, it just had that playoff atmosphere from the get-go in this one, you guys. It was an exciting game to watch. Got a big one coming up against St. Louis tomorrow. Definitely got to take advantage of that situation and try and keep it moving in the positive direction here. Oilers have been on a nice little stretch as of late, so hopefully we can keep that ball rolling versus St. Louis. But nonetheless, you guys, great game last night. Great job closing it out for the 4-3 victory in the shootout there. Absolutely dustation from McDavid, just dangled right around him, right around Quick there to pot it home for the Vic. Obviously, Draisaitl scores in that shootout period as well with a nice snipe show. So your two main guys getting it done in the shootout for you to seal the victory. So great job all around by the squad last night, you guys. Like I said, big time game against St. Louis. We got, I think, 14 or 15 games left in the season now, down to the home stretch here. Hopefully the Oilers can keep it rolling here and get into a nice spot in the playoffs here. Get ready for some good playoff hockey, you guys. I'm excited for the postseason to start. But that pretty well wraps it up for this one, man. 4-3 final in the shootout for the Oilers, you guys. Would love your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. How do you think the Oilers fared in last night's game? And what do you think our chances are of taking down St. Louis in tomorrow's matchup? Like I said, would love your guys' opinion on that in the comment section down below. That pretty well wraps it up for this one, you guys. Please go ahead and like the video. If you like sporting content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. This is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Channel. Peace.